All right, what's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're gonna be trying to put some hood pins onto the Jeep. This is what they look like right here. They're the push pins. All right, so here's how these guys work. Basically, you push that in there, push that button, and it pops out. It's that simple. You just push the button and it pops out. So we're gonna be trying to install them today. It looks fairly simple to do. Doesn't look like you need too many tools. Got to take a few things off. I'm going to show you here. Got to take the grill off. They recommend taking or cutting this guy off, but I think I might. Yeah, I think I will. I'll take this guy off if I can. It's because to do it, you got to get up underneath of here. That's kind of hard to do with this in the way, so I'll probably take this off completely. They normally keep these on as like a buffer for these guys here. For this. But I don't need that. This came with springs. So I'm going to try to get this guy off. All right, so after you get that off, it's just a few 10mm bolts up top. You got to take those grill guards off like I showed you. You didn't have to take this off. I did. I don't know why. I thought it was in the way. I was having troubles getting it off. I ended up having to grab a pry bar and pry it off. But after that, you need a 10mm, or excuse me, a 13mm. There's a bolt right here. And up under here, there's another one here. Takes this off, takes the top off. You can do that on both sides. Take both of those off. And it comes out as an assembly just like this. Pretty simple. A lot of times people cut these off and put this back into place. Next thing you're going to do, obviously, is the other side. However, you got to drill this out just slightly. So you got to drill it out enough for this to make it through, which right now it's not going to. 1/2 inch. It looks a little big, but we're going to try it. So we'll drop this guy in with the washer on it. This guy should be able to fit through the bottom. Let me show you up here. If I can get you up under here, you can see there's a hole underneath right here. That guy's the hole itself is a little bit smaller. So we're going to try to get this guy up through here. Screw it on. So it looks like it'll fit in there with the just going all the way through without drilling it. So let's go ahead and do the other side as well. This should drop through. I know this is going to have to go significantly lower. It's probably going to have to go almost all the way for that to match up, but we're going to keep it a little high for now and we'll adjust it later. And then we do the same thing. We just twist this guy on the bottom. We'll tighten this up in a little bit. We just want to get an idea of where it's supposed to go. Now you need something to put onto here to make a spot onto the hood itself. So we'll get something, dab it on both sides. Okay, so I did not have any grease or anything. All I have is a little bit of 2-stroke oil. I'm hoping that'll work. A little bit of a thing here on top on both sides. All right, once you do that, you're going to lower the hood so that it touches on both sides. Lift it back up. Once you lift it back up, it should have left a little tiny dot here. Then all you need to do is find a punch, which I did not have. I just had this guy here. You get a punch and you hit that guy right there with the punch and the hammer. Try to make it as centered as possible. It's going to be very hard to do for me. And that kind of did it. There we go. It's a good one there. All right, so those are both good. Left a little punch hole there. It's kind of hard to see, but there it is right there. Little tiny dot. And what you do is you get your hole saws. You're going to do the bottom first, which is going to be your bigger hole. Something I forgot to mention but strongly recommend is iPro. All right, so once you get the bottoms all drilled out, you'll see here. Then you move on to the top. Okay, so when you're drilling your holes, make sure you use the right size. First hole was, I believe, 2.5. Smaller hole should be 1 3/4. I definitely went with 2 1/4. It was a little too big. Luckily, it should cover. All right, so that one went through. Let's see if we can't drop this guy in here. Make sure it covers up the hole. One thing I do suggest, putting some tape over top here and painting underneath just to block off the metal. All right, so I couldn't find the tape that I wanted, but I found some tape. And tape is tape, kind of. So we'll just throw this on here. In the meantime, we'll spray it and we'll go to the other side. And while this paint's drying, we'll drill out the other side. And then we'll go back and do the same. Make sure you shake your paint pretty hard. Hear that rattle. All right, now while that's drying, let's go to the other side and drill the other side out. All right, same concept. All right, you taped it up. You're gonna grab your spray paint, shake it again. All right, that should be good and dry enough. Now what you do is put it in the hole. You get your other piece, goes up under here. As you can see, I just used black paint. Any paint will work. I just chose black. And then you just screw this guy on here. All right, so this came with 0 instructions. However, it came with these little tiny pins. They're kind of hard to see. They're like Allen key things. I'd imagine it's to tighten it down all the way. These come, the washer piece, the part that screws into the bottom of the hood, has 3 little holes in it. And these screw into them. And I would imagine that those are specifically meant to tighten this all the way down to the hood, because it's kind of hard to get in there. There's no real way to tighten it down other than this. So we'll get this in here and we'll tighten these guys down as tight as we can go without breaking or stripping it, which should be that. Same thing on the other side. Actually, we'll do the top first because the other side's a little longer. It comes with 4 of the smaller ones like this. And then it comes with 2 of these guys, which are a little bit longer, and then 2 very long ones. I won't need the longest ones of them. Just these ones here. This one should be just long enough to get up in here, which I'd imagine is why they did that. There we go. And we'll move over to the other side and do the exact same thing on that side. Slide it in here. Get this guy on. All right, so once you have it all set up, we're going to put this spring on here and close the hood. All right, so once it's closed, that'll give you a good idea of how much further you have to go down. It looks like we have to go down like 1/8 of an inch on both sides. All right, once you do get it into place where you want it to be, you just get your, I think 5/8 is what that is. 3/4, hold on. 3/4. Top and bottom. Tighten it down nice and snug. Try not to spin the top one because the top one's that's the bolt itself. And we'll get that tight. And then you do the exact same thing on the other side. All right, and that is the finished product. See, the hood lines up pretty nicely on both sides. And that's pretty much it. Everything is all back together. Hood pops sometimes, and hood pops on this side. Hood pops on this side when you put a little pressure down on it, as you can see. So that should be good. I think that's going to finish up for this video here. Appreciate you guys watching. Let me know if there's anything else you want to see on this other than just the repairs. But I think that's going to do it. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I will see you later. Goodbye.